Alrighty, live from Cabot, Arkansas. It is Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and this is answering your financial questions live. And already live. Okay. So that's fine. I figured out how I can just test the mic, that the mic sound is working correctly just by starting and not having to explain it, but except this time I explained it. So just gotta talk and then eventually it'll show up and then I'll know. Generally don't have a problem with that. But that's the kind of thing that you get an assistant for, a producer or something like that, and you have them check immediately whether there's sound or anything like that. I had my daughter do that when we did father-daughter video gaming. But normally do this myself. Alrighty. Coach Steve Money, actually youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And for my financial content, just scroll down to the playlists of answering your financial questions. That's this stream. Used to be in the afternoons at Ramsey time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. But now for football season and maybe forever, it's going to be 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturdays and Sundays for this stream. The Ramsey Show After Show, that's Tuesdays and Thursdays. After the Ramsey Show video is over on YouTube, approximately 5:25 p.m. Eastern time. And Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I am going to do streams just as a replacement chat stream, since the Ramsey Show goes off YouTube and the last hour goes to their app, which has no chat. So I'm doing a chat replacement stream, and most of those will have some kind of content, probably me playing some type of video game. Also, the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. The most recent one being what a lot of people need to know how to do is how to do the baby steps right. And so give those a listen if you are so inclined. Let's get into the questions. Trickster operator, don't time the market. That much is certain. You buy on schedule, up or down. Let's see. Dave says those who jump off are the only ones who get hurt. That's like of a roller coaster or Ferris wheel or something like that. Yeah, and that is true. Right. Because the thing is, it doesn't matter if it crashes. It's going to crash from time to time. That much is certain. You can look at the history and see that that has happened. But guess what? It always comes back and goes to a new high. So that means when it goes down at all, it's actually on sale at that moment. And if it crashes, that means it's on extreme sale. So if you buy constantly, you are going to be helped out by that. That's called dollar cost averaging, whether when you buy, whether it's down or up. Doesn't matter, because it always goes higher and on to new heights. Let's see, if you had invested $10,000 in SP 500 50 years ago and never touched it, you would have $380,000 in the end of 2023. Okay. I'll assume that to be correct. If you missed the 10 best trading days, you would have 170,000, 55% less from just 10 days. Right. So you don't want to miss any days. But you try to think about it like that, because you don't want to think about trying to time it and just buy on those 10 days or buy when it's a low right before those 10 days. You don't want to do that. You just buy on schedule, like out of every paycheck. And of course you go as you have the money, like out of each paycheck. You don't save up a chunk and then put it in the market. You're missing out on days. And so that is going to be less gains overall, fewer gains overall. If you missed the 30 best days, you would have 60. Okay. He's just doing math now. Overly mathing it, but that's fine. That's a gain of only 8,000 being invested for 18,190 days. Right. So if you're trying to time it too much and you miss the wrong days, then it's a bunch less. Like this last one here was 95% less, depending on if you timed it out. And I'm sure he looked for the, or she looked for the correct, the days where it would be the most off like this to make the point. And so, but the point is made regardless. And so, yes, it is correct advice. Do not time the market. Alrighty, Lago MKV. What up, AJ? How's it going, sir? Looking for a recent podcast? Hey, guys. Hi, guys. I knew the recent podcast that was so fairly recently, I'm assuming, left that out, that Ken Coleman and Rachel Cruz hosted. They took a minute to talk about Kamala Harris, about a Kamala Harris. One's enough, and how she wants to implement some sort of food policy or something. They seemed against it and would love to listen to it and dive deeper on the subject. I can't for the life of me find what podcast that was. Does anyone know what episode that was? No, because they don't list the host names in the title nor the description. So, but what you can do is go to YouTube. On Spotify, they may not have it, but if you go to YouTube, the thumbnail of the podcast will be one of the hosts, I think, unless it's no, yeah, it will be on YouTube. It will, but like where it is just a podcast, it may be the same thumbnail every single time that shows all the hosts, and so you would just look back for Ken or Rachel on that. Like for example, Rachel hosted, no, George and John were on Friday, on yesterday's show. And so it was John, I think. John was on the thumbnail for that one. AJ been spring cleaning. Me too. Trying to get rid of a lot of stuff that so I don't have to move it again on this fine summer day. That's right. It is one. Baby step one, flair for the person. And I mean, it's fine to be aware of political stuff, but on baby step one especially, you need to worry less about the White House and worry more about your house, because your house is something you can control. The White House, you don't have any control over that, except you'll be mad about it if you don't like it. No Charity, 2212, new to the steps, Canadian A, 23 man. I'm tired of being stuck and confused, Dave. Just trying to get head start on getting my life on track. I was just wondering if there are any Canadians out there who've been following Dave for a while, and if you guys would be willing to share some of your experiences that you think would be of help. I'm on baby step 3B. Okay, saving to buy a house. I have a TSFA and an RRSP set up, and I'm looking into plumbing for a stable job and income. Any advice at all would be appreciated, more than you know. Apparently in Canada, you have to have a credit score to buy a house. They don't do manual underwriting in Canada. So that would be one of the differences. The different tax advantaged retirement account names would be the other ones. For example, TSFA and RRSP. And those are Canadian ones. But other than that, everything should be the same, as far as I know. I mean, they would have some different tax laws as well, but everything else would be the same, other than apparently you have to have a credit score to buy a house in Canada. And I don't know what that's all about, but that's the way it is. AJ is out. Thanks for dropping by, AJ. Lovely to see you, sir. JC_8722. I fell for a scam and have no recourse. How much will my credit score drop if I don't pay a $4,000 debt and goes to collections? It doesn't matter how much your credit score drops, because we don't care about it here in the America. A scam via PayPal and now I have a negative PayPal account balance of 4,000 I need to pay. Okay, so I mean, yeah, PayPal doesn't have anything to do with it. You would have either initiated that transaction or fallen for the scam somewhere else, and basically you paid them via PayPal. Let's see, absolutely no recourse, right, for this. Tried all avenues, right? PayPal, bank, etc. Right, and that's unfortunately that's if you do it yourself on purpose. You know, you think you're gonna get a PlayStation 5 for $10. You should know better than that part, but I mean, scams do happen, and you just have to chalk that up to stupid tax. And for whatever reason you fell for it, you shouldn't fall for the same or any scam ever again. So anything else, you initiate everything. You don't get an email and that email convinces you to buy something. No, do not do that. If you didn't need it already, you still don't need it. So if you want a PlayStation, you can go to a reputable website and buy that. I am considering letting it go to collections and fall off my credit history in 7 years. Okay. How much will a 4,000 I don't know how bad it will. I don't know. But that comes in handy for Ramsey plan followers because we don't give a crap about credit score. Again, if you're trying buying a house in Canada, apparently you have to have one or work something out with them. I don't know how it works in Canada, but in America, we don't care about credit score. Do not care. The only reason you need a credit score would be to get more loans, and that's not what we do here. All right, upstate New York dude 2, new Ramsey follower, keep the faith in the plan. It feels weird to say this, but we're now seasoned vets of the day plan. 10 years ago, we had $100,000 plus in debt, no home and no investments. Wrote a letter to Berkshire Hathaway asking them for help with my student loans, and to my surprise, the company responded with a hardcover copy of the Total Money Makeover. Wow. That is cool. That is crazy cool. That is interesting. I'll have to start talking about that. And with the disclaimer that it was just a post on the Reddit from upstate New York dude too, but it's possible. I mean, they got a lot of money. It's possible they have that. It's possible they got some gift copies of it as well. Who knows? And so they have them to give away. After reading it, it was on. I sold the car and had just bought 4 months prior and bought a junker. Approved. Those were the only 4 months of my life I've ever had a car payment in. Oh, okay. Fast forward 10 years, we're debt free other than the house, which we owe less than $95,000 on, and it's worth about $300,000. That's fabulous for 10 years. That's you turning your stuff around. So you're doing great. Our net worth about $350,000 now and climbing pretty quickly. Now that we're investing more, which you shouldn't be investing more than 15% of your gross household income before that house is paid off. You should not be doing that though. So even the people that are on the plan and think they're following it, they're still trying to not follow it. So that happens. All right, but still better off. Lease Calligrapher 72. Ramsey presence on Reddit. Has Dave or other representative ever come on here and corrected people or had any interaction with us here on Reddit? I would assume for Dave, no. Perhaps Rachel or George, maybe even John, just started baby step 1. That would be a negative good buddy. They have their own website that explains all of their stuff. They have the Ramsey Show After Show. No, that's my show, is the Ramsey Show After Show, which also explains their stuff. But they have the Ramsey Show, Just used to saying it too much. They have the Ramsey show, and they explain all their stuff on there as well. They do not need to go on a third-party forum to explain their stuff. Now, I don't know. I don't even think they do it on their own group that's on Facebook, which is the Ramsey Baby Steps community. If it's named anything else, it's not run by Ramsey Solutions, but that's run by Ramsey Solutions, and I don't think even on there they correct people. I don't think the mods do that. So on there. So yeah, so that's what you would do. You would go to their website if you want to learn about it. I come on here and correct it. Every so often I will put a comment or email somebody or message somebody if they're like really off on something every so often. But basically I just do it on this stream and say, of course, what do I say, George? George knows what I said. And this is also why you need a producer so they can hit the sound bites. What do they say, George?
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
That's right. All right. 2924838. How do you all actually enjoy your money? Is this a person that isn't able to spend money? Oh, 17. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, for you, that should probably be not much more than going out to movies and stuff like that. You wouldn't be wanting to spend a lot of money. If you are making a lot of money, you're going to want to save that up. Let's see. To be fully transparent, I'm 17, but I've been curious about this for a while. It seems many of Dave's followers are all about driving cheap cars, living in cheap houses, and eating cheap food. Yeah, but you don't have to do that forever. You only do that until you have the full emergency fund done. And then you can cut down on that while you're saving for a down payment for a house as well. And so it also, if you don't eat expensive food, then that is more money also that you can pay down, more money you can put to whatever baby step you're on, whether that be saving for a down payment or investing or kid college or paying off the house early. So it's up to you. Once you get to those steps on 4, 5, and 6, 3B, and if that's necessary, and then 4, 5, and 6, you are deciding basically with every purchase you buy, every time you go out to eat, you're like, do we want to go out to eat and spend this $20? Or do I want to put that $20 on one of the other things? And so you get to decide, and the more you spend money on stuff like eating out and vacations, which you absolutely can do, you've earned that right by being in step 4. 3B and 4 you would get to the same time. That's after anything after 3 that you have the full emergency fund in step 3. And so 3B is right here. It's not on the list, but that's where it is. If you don't already have a house, you do not save for a house until you get that emergency fund done, which you do not do until you have all your debt paid off. And you don't even start paying off extra on debt. You just pay minimums while you are saving the $1,000 for the starter emergency fund. Steps 1, 2, and 3 in order, one at a time, without going further. And you don't even think about further steps. So the 17-year-old definitely trying to plan it all out and thinking ahead, though. But that's what you would do. And so steps 4, 5, and 6 you do all at the same time, and you do want to get through these fairly quickly too. So you're at step 7 with the build wealth and give, and you own a freaking house, and that is huge in retirement because then you don't have a rent payment or a mortgage payment. So that's the dealio on that. So you might every so often want to think, well, let's see, we could go on a $5,000 vacation, or we could put that towards a house and go on vacation in a few years, that kind of thing. So that is the dealio on that. But let's see, I've heard some people call them who have millions of dollars on average income because they don't spend their money. Yeah, and at some point it is a problem. And they do have a problem because some people do get the scarcity mentality. It also could be they're just fine and happy like that. Like I have friends that don't understand how I don't like do certain things for myself in order to do stuff more cheaply. I don't cook a lot, which a lot of times recipes and stuff like that, you have to spend a lot more money than you do by just getting the cheapest takeout even, or buying frozen things and microwaving them. So like people don't understand that either, but it is cheaper in the way that I do it. And so they're like, why do you do that to yourself? It's like it doesn't bother me. I don't feel like I'm missing out on meals like that. If I want a nice meal, I'll go to a nice restaurant and get one. If I want one every so often, I don't need to have one though. I don't feel like I'm missing it. It could just be my age, but it's hard for me to understand being frugal your entire life. Sure, everything is hard for you to understand at 17. Just to have millions of dollars without intentions of ever spending your money. Yeah, that. I mean, some of it is for, your inheritance, so you can leave it to your heirs, certainly, or a worthy charity if there are no heirs. But let's see, can somebody please try to explain this a little better and help me understand? Yes, some people get so ingrained in like the step 2 mentality, step 1 through 3 mentality, where you're not going out to eat at all. And the cheaper house you buy, the shorter time you can get into a house because you have to save up less of a down payment. But then you might think, why do I need a bigger house? Why? You don't spend money just to spend it. You should want to do it. And if these people don't want to do it, that's one thing. But if they also aren't having any fun with their money, then that may be a mental issue. They may be like I said, stuck with the scarcity mentality. So yeah, I mean, if you got millions of dollars, you should take at least a $5,000 vacation, definitely. So, and you can do whatever you want to once you're on steps 3B, 4, 5, and 6, you can put anything you want to in the budget. So you just got to cash flow it. Electronic Court 197. Listen to SmartVestor Pro or pay off house early. The SmartVestor Pro wants you to invest more with them instead of paying off the house early so he can make more money probably. And you do get this kind of thing where they go off the reservation, they get vetted by the Ramsey team, but then once they start getting the referrals and stuff, they get out of the Ramsey advice. After interviewing 5 SmartVestor Pros, I chose one, filled out their forms, and had my first kickoff session with them last week. In this session, they proposed that I invest an additional $50,000 of my after-tax dollars annually with them. In addition to me already maxing out my 401k and Roth IRA accounts. Yeah, they're trying to make money off of you. Yeah. I was a bit shocked that his initial recommendation was so high. After reflection, I would much rather use these remaining dollars to pay off my house early. Right, you should only be doing 15% of your annual income. So your gross income. And so if they're maxing out the 401k and the Roth IRA and that still doesn't equal 15%, then Dave Wood does want you to invest additionally. But it sounds like, let's see, take-home pay is 9. So let's just make the math easy for me. So it'd be $120,000. So 10% of that would be, yeah, that would only be $10,000. So yeah, there's no way he's got to be over, he might even be over 15% doing just the 401k and Roth IRA. So, yeah, so that would be a no. And unfortunately, when you deal with Ramsey vetted people, unfortunately, like I said, they can answer all the questions correctly for the vetting team. And then after that, when they go out into the wild and start receiving referrals, they can say whatever they want to. And that's what I'm saying. See, the 401k and Roth IRA, that doesn't make them much money. So they want your other money to make them more money is what it's going to be. Probably so they can invest stuff that they get kickbacks on or something like that. And invest more once I'm mortgage free in 3 years. You can be mortgage free in 3 years. Yeah, you're not putting an additional 50 and keeping the mortgage around. That would be stupid. And fortunately, this person is smart enough. I hope. I mean, theoretically, you would know already, having gotten to this point, and to even if you even have to ask a question, you think you would know already and not have to get feedback on it. But that's what the subreddit's for. And to bitch about stuff, of course. Let's see. Take home pay is $9K a month, and after all expenses, excuse me, including after making the legal maximum, $23K 401k and $7K Roth IRA. Annual contributions, I still have $6K about remaining. So there's a lot I have to work with. Yeah. But yeah, that should all go in the house on steps 4, 5, and 6. So 4 is the investing part. Sounds like you're doing over 15 already. So you would simmer down now, especially since you only have 3 years. Simmer down, go back down to 15%, pay that house off early, and then you're in step 7. You can invest whatever you want then. Alrighty. Puzzle-headed pin 120. I feel like, for me, I spend an abnormal amount of money on car repair, vent. Yeah, and so that does happen. And you do, this is one of the things about not having a car payment and buying beater cars when you're on the early baby steps. You have to take it upon yourself. I mean, you can consult with the mechanic if you don't know that much about cars, of course. But you don't buy a used car until you have your mechanic look at it. You don't take the dealer's word for it, or any private sale, which was how you should be buying them. Because when you involve the dealer, then they are taking money out of your pocket either way. You're getting less car for the money if you're buying it from the dealer. And you're making less on your car if you are selling it to the dealer, or worse, trading it in. And if you're trading it in, you're getting screwed both ways. You're not getting as much trade-in value for what you could sell it on private sale, and you're also not getting as much car as you could get for the same amount of money. So enjoy the dealership. I felt like I've had horrible car problem at the College Pontiac G6. That car was a total POS on road trip to San Antonio in 2015. Let somebody else drive, or don't go, or rent a car for a road trip to San Antonio. So don't do that. See, you're the one that, if you knew it was a POS, then you shouldn't have driven it to San Antonio, should you? But anyway, the braking system started shaking uncontrollably, which required a $1,300 repair. Okay, yeah, I mean, that happens. And so once you get to a point, I mean, if you have paid for a lot of repairs already, then maybe it won't have any more. Again, you can have a mechanic check it out and get their opinion on it, if it's worth keeping. But eventually you can call it. You can call time of death on a car, or at least for you. And if it's running and such, you can sell it and get a new one at any time you want. New to you, used, obviously. because you don't get a new car unless you are a millionaire, if you're following Mr. Ramsey's advice. So I bought our car I could afford at the time, a 2010 Chevy Malibu. It was great for a while, but we still needed 2 cars. I think we managed with just 1 car for a year to a year and a half. Okay, so if you can manage for a car for a year to year and a half, you probably can manage for 3 years then. You just didn't want to. And so you decided to get another car. So, I mean, that's up to you. My name is Paul, and that's between y'all. And, you know, but basically, when you're on the lower baby steps, steps 1, 2, and 3, until you get those done, you're learning to be inconvenienced by stuff. Oh, I gotta do extra things with my time so that we can just have 1 car. Yes. You always do extra things with your time because your time is free. So if you're not working, then you have nothing better to do than do something that causes you to spend less money. Real ad 1811. This is not an ad though. Actual question. What conversations should I have with my boyfriend about his family farm he expects to inherit? Just preliminary. If it's a boyfriend, you don't get a vote in any of it. I mean, and maybe even if you're married, you don't get that much of a vote in it, but if that's what you're trying to find out before you do get married. So let's see what the dealio is. Oh, and 31. So we're talking about 2 adults here, not kids, like in high school or college or anything like that. 31 female making 53K, searching for a higher paid job. Okay, as a customer operations coordinator with a BA in communications, 2020, and a 20K in federal student loans and 4K in credit cards. I pay $960 rent for a 1-bedroom apartment. Could find cheaper, like $700. I have only $6K in 401K and contribute 4% to get the 4% match. You shouldn't be doing that while you are in debt. So you heard what George said. You're doing it wrong. Boyfriend is a 35 man making 53K as an apprentice iron worker. Started 1 year ago and 3 years and should be making 65K, but has recently expressed considering other jobs like a local trailer shop manager since current job site commute is an hour 20. Yeah, can be as low as 30 minutes. I guess that depends on traffic. And conditions are harsh. Okay, he has a associate's in applied science, I think. 54K private student loans from when he went to uni from 18 to 23. Yeah, so, and he's not using that degree. So perfect. That's always the best. I mean, at least if you have the loans that you get the degree, at least you can hopefully monetize that to pay back those student loans. But otherwise, and they're private student loans too. Oh my goodness, he did it wrong. Yeah, so I don't know what well, let's just check. I'm curious what she in particular wants to know about the farm, about selling it so you can pay off both of their debts maybe. Oh my goodness, is there a too long didn't read? Oh my goodness. ETA, what does ETA mean? Extra estimated time of arrival was supposed to mean, so I don't know what that means there. I just don't understand why they do the things they do. They have this beautiful property and land and have junked it up in the houses. Okay, well, guess what? You don't get to run their lives. And so if there are any deal breakers, find them now and do not be that guy's girlfriend any longer. Too long didn't read, and the too long didn't read is still too long. Boyfriend and I are planning to move in together. You do not do that either. You do not do that either. Let's have a Janosch from Ghostbusters.
If everything you're doing is bad, I want you to know this.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. We're gonna run plays in a small town. I was born in a small town, and we're gonna run a place in a small town. But that would out my commute. Put maybe my commute at 45 to 50 minutes. Okay, well, I mean, if that's a problem for you, again, all of these things sound like they're going to be problems for you, then you call it off. He said before me, he lived day by day, day by day. Oh, dear Lord, three things I pray. And at the rate he was paying his loan, he would have paid for the rest of his life, right? He was obviously doing it wrong, but you have to be doing everything right before you can criticize somebody else, in my opinion, or I'm going to judge you about that. You need to take care of your garden before tending to somebody else's. I need to ask him about his goals and such. Yeah, and some people don't have them. So let's see. But he said he thinks about the future more now. Great. And is excited about the future. Okay, I guess, because once he makes 65, that's more than 53. I don't know what to think. What questions do I need answers about the farm situation? Only you know what answers you need. I mean, if you if you're just moving in, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're not following Dave's advice anyway. So if we're just moving in together and you're not married, you can basically bounce at any time from that. And that's why I suggest before you do anything like this together that you get married. Is it worth it to try and help him? Is try to help him? Not try. You don't try and do anything. It's try to always. I feel like no, since he has gotten to this age without significant change, except he's now making 1.2K payments on his loan. Well, that's good. But it took him like over a decade. Okay, I think to get to that. I feel like a bad partner for not trying harder to help him, but this all just dawned on me. If you're not married, you're not a bad partner for not giving them money or paying off their debt. You do not have to do that. You have debt of your own, stupid debt of your own that you need to pay off. Again, tend to your garden before worrying about anybody else's, and don't move in before getting married. Alrighty, Forerunner 92, what path to investing? I have baby steps completed up to the point where I need to pay off house early, okay? Oh, save for kids' college and invest 15%. That's the wrong order. That's the reverse order that they are in, but you do those all at the same time. But basically, it's like when you pay off debt and you have the snowball and you pay off the lowest amount first, so you're putting everything extra other than minimum payments to everything else, but you're putting all of the snowball amount to one debt at a time. And you would also be doing that with your snowball amount on steps 4, 5, and 6. First is investing, and then if you have anything left after that, then you start addressing kid college. If you have kids, if you do not have children, you skip that step. If you do not have a house, obviously you can't pay it off early, so you skip that step too. But assuming you have a child and a house as well, the first two things you would do would be investing 15% of household income, and then addressing kid college, and then after the younger they are, the smaller the amount you need to put away each month for that. And then anything extra after that you would put on the house early. Now, the problem here is you are supposed to do them all at the same time if you invest 15% of your household income. And then you don't have any left over to put on kid college or the house, then you are doing something extremely wrong. Where's all the income going? Because you don't have any more debt at that point. So you're not paying off debt anymore. Where's all the income going? And so the first thing you look at that thing is lifestyle creep. You can look at budgeting. Maybe you never budgeted. Who knows? But the money's going somewhere. And again, that's where you need to stop spending money. Not like the people that won't spend any money. I mean, even in these steps, you can still go on a vacation, once a year, once every 2 years, but you should be doing something in all three of those things at the same time, or you're not making enough money to do all that. Maybe you got too much house. Who knows? There's somewhere the math is not working for you, because not having any debt should give you enough money to at least put a little bit to kid college and a little bit to house early, paying off house early, in addition to doing the 15%. Ready. Which path to? Did I even start forward on 92? Did I start this one? I don't remember starting that one, did I? I think I did. Did I get through it? Let's see. I have baby steps completed up to the point where I need to pay off the house early for kid college. But that's because he had it in the wrong order. So I got sidetracked. I'm looking at investing long term. Okay. Well, yeah, it's retirement. You don't touch it until you retire. So yeah, that's long term. My employer does not match anything into my 401k. Okay, so they do match 3% up to 6% in an employee shares program. You're not doing that then. That's a single stock. You don't do that then. You forego that match then. Because that's going to be hit or miss on the individual, what the individual stock is worth. And you have to see it could be worth it to get that match, because that is a free, but that requires you taking 6% of your money and putting it into that instead of better investments, into mutual funds. And so you could look at the numbers on it. And sometimes you can't sell them right away, because Dave would just have you get the match, get the free employee shares basically, and then you sell them as soon as you can sell them, and then you would apply that money to whatever baby step. I have a Charles Schwab account I could use to buy whatever stocks I'd like. You shouldn't buy any. Manage mutual funds for retirement. Any tips on the best way to invest my money would be appreciated. You go on YouTube and you search Dave Ramsey investing, and you watch all the videos on that, and that's how you do that. Basically, his split is for retirement, and that's all your investing should be. You're doing 4, 5, and 6 at the same time, as you said. The only time you don't have to do 5 is if you decide not to help your kids, or if you don't have any, then you can skip that step. But assuming you do, since you brought it up, and paying out the house early, you wouldn't be investing extra other than the 15%, and that all that 15% is into retirement. You're not doing extra savings instead of doing the baby steps. So other than the save for kid college part of step 5, but that's specified on there. But you're not just doing general extra investing until step 7. And then you can invest whatever you want in whatever you want. Except still, single stock, still not advised. Tight Coocher, 344, zero-based versus one-way rollover budgeting. I don't even know what that is. I might, or I don't know it called that, but let's see what it is. I've always been pretty financially responsible and followed a budget for most of my adult life. Great. However, I used to always set it up with rollover budgets per category. I'd find myself justifying going over budget in a certain category by saying I'd make it up with next month's budget. Yep. And everybody gets a credit card, says I'm going to pay it off every month, and then guess what they do? They go over budget and spend too much, and then they can't pay it off every month, and then, ma'am, interest. Being totally honest, definitely be honest. Thanks for the disclaimer. Might be a millennial there. The disclaimer group. To be honest, I mean, being totally honest, this never got me into trouble. All right, I have a pretty solid income, and I never end up in persistent debt that I couldn't pay off the next month. Okay, but after reading the Total Money Makeover and listening to Ramsey content, I've shifted my mindset towards that type of behavior. Great. Recognizing that it introduced risks, and honestly, definitely make sure you tell us you're honest 2 or 3 times in a small paragraph. A degree of anxiety/stress that just isn't necessary. Exactly. Financial peace is the name of the game, and not doing that dumb, stupid crap is what gives you the financial peace. Anyway, I found myself getting into what I'm calling sometimes these people get too precious about their own little stuff that they're doing. But let's see. Settling into what I call a one-way rollover budget system, whereby I allow balances to roll over in a given category, but only in the green. That is, I never allow a budget to go into the negative, but do allow unspent budget in one month to accrue into the next, and so on. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You would apply any leftover out of that. If you don't spend in a budget category, that goes to whatever baby step you are on. Now, you can do that dumb crap you're talking about on step 7. That's fine. You can do whatever you want with your budget there because you are done with the baby steps. But you have baby steps to do now, so you don't let food money roll over from one month to the next month. To have a higher food budget for the next month, you do not do that. Forgot I already opened it. Let's see. I'm curious if that's how others are doing it. No, I don't think. I'm sure some people out of the entire world are doing it like that, but I would think not, especially if they're following the Ramsey plan, because you're supposed to get through the steps, not have a higher budget for things you don't need a higher budget for. Let's see. Or if you're being strict with zero-based. Yeah. That's what the zero-based thing does. It keeps you strict and it keeps you disciplined. Okay? All the smarter, more disciplined people, be disciplined and stick to your freaking budget instead of using a credit card to put something on and then paying it off the next month. Just stick to your budget with cash and do that. Let's see. Not trying to dig out of debt. So that doesn't matter. Unless you're on step 7, you're still have to do the same things. On step 7, you can do, again, whatever stupid crap you want, but the extra on anything now should be going to whatever baby step you're on. So I don't even need to squirrel away the marginal savings. And to me, it seems to make more sense that I'd build that up in case I have a month where I have visitors and want to go out more, or I have a big Costco run that would otherwise put me over. No, you would make your budget amount for that month higher in that case. We don't have a sludge fund in the Ramsey plan. There's no sludge fund for, if I want to spend more money this month. No, you decide to spend that much money in any particular month in advance, and you put that in the budget and you cash flow that. That's how you do that. So yeah, there's no sludge fund. Magical Elixir, what up? If I could stop eating out, I would save around $400 a month. You are crazy, Magical Elixir. You are crazy for doing that. Got a great idea. Stop eating out. And let's see, Matt. Let's see what George thinks about that magical elixir. What advice would you have for him, George?
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
That's right. Thank you for that. That will be a lovely short that I can put up. Anime Theo, mortgage payments through high yield savings account versus checking account. I mean, it doesn't really, you can have it taken out of a high yield savings account, I think. As long as whoever's holding the high yield savings account allows you to ACH out of it like that. That's fine. Or you can do a transfer to yourself if you need to your own bank account and then pay it out of your bank account. It's fine. But I mean, that could be a lot of trouble for not that many gains. Hi all, 29 man. I have a house that I make payments on. This is more just a logistics question versus a savings question. I have two main accounts outside of various CDs. CDs not recommended. I can't touch I have two main accounts outside of the various CDs I can't touch. Does that mean retirement accounts? What does that mean? My local bank checking account in which my work pay goes directly into. I also have a high yield savings account for my mortgage and credit card payments. Always paid, never late, never late, never an issue. That's still not the advice. You don't do credit cards. Do you just have your checks go directly into your high yield savings account and maybe keep a couple thousand in case of immediate payment needs like car repair? Your emergency fund needs to be immediately accessible. So you can put it in a high yield savings account, but you do need a debit card or check writing privileges on that. You have to have because you know why? You know why? Emergencies don't wait for you to get that 1 to 3 day transfer before emergencies happen. That's not how emergencies work. Let's see, or just transfer every few thousand in the high yield savings account. Again, I don't know that that's worth the trouble of doing that. As well, do you have your mortgage paid directly from the high yield savings account? If you can, again, it depends on who holds your high yield savings account and what they charge per transactions. Like they may only allow X number of transfers per month without charging you, and then there's your interest gone. And so people get crazy with chasing interest and chasing dividends and stuff like that. You need to go for the most money overall instead of that. I find myself transferring funds, especially around the time when my bills are due, from my high yield savings account to my checking, and what the normal people would say, or like regular, Ramsey people would say, I guess, because we're not normal, we're weird. And so, but I think that like the normal American that has a mortgage payment would probably say, if you have bills that are due and you need that money to pay the bills, including the mortgage, you don't have it in a high yield savings account where you have to do an extra thing to get it to you. So I would think most people don't bother with that. So baby step 6. So again, and I don't know. I mean, what a mortgage payment amount, how much are you making by having that in the high yield savings account for what, a couple weeks? I mean, understand if you have $100,000 in the high yield savings account, granted that's making something, but you just let that make something. You don't have to transfer an extra $1,000 to it, or even a few $1,000s to it every so often, only to have to take it out the next week. That's ridiculous. That's too much. That's too much work. So would not advise. And didn't say how much that is making this person, but probably not much, if anything. And like I said, once if they get him with transfer fees after a certain amount, like on some bank savings account, you get 6 transactions per month for free. Anything more than that, And I have seen people transfer every couple of days out of there, and then they get hit with the fees, and of course they didn't know about it because they didn't read for it when they signed the fee schedule. So that's the way it goes. All right. Magical Elixir did not have a comeback for George's assessment that he or she was doing it wrong. Mysterious Event 958, need lower payment. My husband and I live a very simple life and live within our means, but it's always a big but, and I cannot lie. My stepson let us know he was not being treated well by his stepdad and wanted to live with us. The first time we went to court and won 50-50, then we tried again when he was older for full custody and lost. Okay. This is something we couldn't afford, but you will do anything for your kids, especially to try to get them out of an emotionally, verbally abusive situation. Okay. Didn't work though. Let's see, needless to say, we do not have the child support we thought we would have since the odds seem to be in our favor. Okay. You shouldn't be counting on child support when you file for custody. You need to be able to handle that. Maybe that's why you didn't get custody. Now we really need a lower payment as we put a total of $25,000 for both custody battles on multiple credit cards that are roughly 29% interest. Any advice to go back in time and not have done that stupid crap at all? It's to keep living your simple life and cut it further and work more and spend less. You cut your budget to the bone and you just lost, and it cost you all of that money. So that's stupid tax. I mean, if it's something like that, you could have consulted with a lawyer ahead of time and found out that, maybe it wouldn't be a good idea to sue for full custody. And then you could have saved all that money. But generally, lawyers might tell you they can win just so they can get paid. So, but this was stupid. I understand it's in a noble cause, but that doesn't make it any less stupid to put it on multiple credit cards or any credit cards or have any debt on it whatsoever. All right, Star Wars Outlaws. I think that came out yesterday. Oh, Magical Elixir. My only comeback would be is that I don't cook, and as a single bachelor, making 3-course meals is expensive. Then I would have all these leftovers. You don't need a 3-course meal. Quit being dumb. Quit being dumb, Magical Elixir. I appreciate you coming on my stream and commenting on my stream, but you're being dumb. You're being dumb. You can eat with grocery store food cheaper than takeout or delivery, because you're paying for delivery charge too. You're probably doing that stupid crap as well. So don't do that. Quit being dumb. Johnny in the 2256. Why does Ramsey charge so much? I don't understand why they charge so much for stuff, especially if they know people are hurting for money. And the whole philosophy is to be getting out of the debt. Like, for example, they are having a seminar for $800 per person. The seminar is probably not for somebody in baby steps 1, 2, and 3. I don't know what seminar that is. That's $800 per person. But yeah, on baby steps 1, 2, 3, you wouldn't do that. And so I don't think it would be a seminar for addressing that. So like, the $79 or whatever it is now for Ramsey Plus, which includes Financial Peace University, that money, if that helps you do the baby steps and helps you get out of debt, that is worth every single penny, more than every single penny. But I don't think 800, and they're having cruise now too. That's not for people on steps 1, 2, and 3. That's for people that can afford it. Let's see. Also selling a planner calendar for $36. And how about, you know what? This is America, capitalism. You ever heard of it? Businesses can charge whatever they want to charge for something. And it also costs in materials, etc., whatever else they have to pay to make it. So they are going to put that cost there and a profit on it. And guess what? You get to decide, I'm not going to buy that calendar because I'm on baby step 2 and I need to put that money towards my debt. You can be smarter than just buy whatever Ramsey puts out to sell. Thought they were trying to help people save money and get debt free. They are. You're just also wanting them to not sell any. I mean, they just started selling shirts this year. I never thought I would see that, but apparently they decided to do that. But they don't suggest you buy any of that stuff of the calendar. I mean, if the calendar also, if the planner calendar also helps you stick to the budget, you don't think it's worth $36 over the course of the year that you're using it to stick to that budget? Of course it is. So it depends on how you use it, but you don't need that calendar. You can write it out on a sheet of paper if you want. But the seminar, I don't think, is for baby steps 1, 2, and 3 people, but I don't know exactly what it's for. So I won't say. But like Financial Peace University, Ramsey Plus does not cost $800. Debt free but no house. Only one nanny. I am debt free and make about $66,000 per year. My rent is about $1,100. Other bills equal about $500. No car payment. My issue is I'm not sure what to plan for housing after I retire. You would hopefully have a paid off house by that time. Depends on how old you are. You don't have a house, okay? If you want to buy a house, now would be the time you start saving for it. You're still investing 15% of gross income into retirement, but you can start saving down payment. Let's see, I don't have a house and probably won't be able to buy one. Why not? I'm putting away 12% of my 401k. Should be 15%. But I only have about $22,000 now. I just started doing that about 6 months ago. All right. I mean, as long as you have the full emergency fund, step 4 is right after that, and that is investing 15%. So again, it depends on how old you are. I mean, you can rent for the rest of your life. That's fine, but then you just have to pay whatever rent is. And I have no idea what rent will be when you retire, because I have no idea how old you are. And also I wouldn't know anyway, even if I did know that you were retiring in 30 years, because we don't know what anything is going to cost in 30 years. You can apply inflation estimates and all that to it, but you still don't know. So that's the whole idea with investing. That's why you want to have a paid off house by that time. Or definitely no debt, which are good with that. So that's good that you don't have debt. This is the most money I've ever made in my life. So the reason I don't have very much retirement is that I never made much money. Pretty sure this is a decently secure job until I retire around 67. Great. Was the best way for me to pile up cash and invest it. Well, you don't pile it up. You invest it out of every check. Just like I talked about earlier, dollar cost averaging. You buy whether it's up or down. You don't try to save the market. You don't make more by saving a chunk and then investing it. You invest as you get the money out of each paycheck. Let's see if there's anything else to this. Boom, 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 boom. Not much. So I get the most money within 7 years. Oh, so you're 60? So you only have 7 years? You should be putting 15% in that 401k. If you don't get any match, you should max out a Roth IRA first. But other than that, you're just piling up cash then. If you don't have any debt and you have the full emergency fund and you are doing the investing and you don't have child dependents that you need to put through college and you don't have a house, congratulations, you're on step 7 already. So you can save whatever you want to. I would probably do the 15% into fairly aggressive stuff in the market. But then you can do like a 7-year target date fund or something like that for everything else, for every bit else. And you cut your expenses, start cutting stuff out now, then, if you need to, if you don't think you're going to have enough. Just 22,000 with 7 years to go, it's not gonna last very long. So you need to figure something out on that. You would hope to be getting your 60, let's make it easy on me, they say 60,000 a year to generate. You got to have $600,000 in the market to generate that each year to spend that. And so, I mean, you're definitely better off now, but yeah, so just invest the 15%, and with every other available cent, you could put that in a target date fund, and that would be a little less aggressive and less chance of it being down as much if there's a down market or some kind of crash before you retire in those 7 years. Or I got a great idea. Work longer. Work until 70. If you can. If you can't work at that job past 67, get another job. Because, I mean, I wouldn't be happy about that if I were you. With only 7 years to go, that's not, your situation is not good there. So you're better than people that don't have, that have debt though, and don't have a full emergency fund, which I'm assuming you have. If you don't have that, you need to do that first before any extra investing. Retirement, I'm 60 man and wife is 59 female. Currently gross 50,000 and she 80,000. We both contribute 10% to 401k. We have $700,000 in retirement fund and $50,000 in reserves. Okay, emergency fund. All right, mortgage $1,660 a month. We have 16 years left. You pay that off now. You pay that off early. You don't pay it off in 16 years. It shouldn't have been a 30-year mortgage to begin with. So you're doing that part wrong. Hopefully you have no debt. Blah, blah, blah. My wife wants to go part-time at age 62, and I will at age 65. Okay, we will start drawing Social Security at 65. We have one other monthly loan of $1,000 a month. Do you think it's a doable plan? Should we pay off mortgage off at retirement? Probably. If you have enough in retirement, you don't spend your emergency fund ever though. If the $50,000, let's see, you're making 130, so you probably don't need 50,000 in reserve, so you could cut that down to a 6-month emergency fund and then put the rest of that into retirement. Although you're like right there already. So maybe just saving it, but you need to pay off that other monthly loan of $1,000. Should have done that before even starting investing. You should have no debts. No debts is the best thing to have done in retirement, other than having retirement, of course. But you start with the no debts. That's step 2. And then step 4 is investing for retirement. And then step 6 is you pay off the house early, and then you don't have a mortgage or rent payment in retirement, which helps out immensely with retirement. And so probably you wouldn't, the only time you would pay that off is if you were in baby step 6, which you're not. Right now you're in baby step 2. So take some of the 50,000 reserves, unless that's part of a 6-month emergency fund. You shouldn't have more than 6 months in the emergency fund. And so you would apply that to that other loan, and you would get rid of that first. and keeping the full emergency fund, 6-month emergency fund always without doing it, then you do pay the house off early still, yes. And then you also, guess what? Guess what? Guess what you do? Guess what you do? You work longer then till you get the house paid off at least. And then you retire after the house is paid off. That's what I suggest. How much do you spend on groceries a week? What is the ideal spend? As little as possible. It depends on how many people, etc., etc. It depends on if you're buying freaking great value brand at Walmart of something, or you're buying the most expensive brand you can of something, and you need to stop doing that. And you don't need to spend $400 as a single person eating out, which makes me think Magical Elixir is a troll, but that's fine. It still works. It still works as a lovely lesson there, and it will be a fabulous, I assure you, it will be a fabulous short. Don't mess with my ducks. Savings accounts. Hello. Hi, guys. I was wondering if anyone could offer advice here on where to move my money from my regular savings account to a better one. I've been with Capital One for several years since I was 18 and never had problems. They have a savings account with 4.25% in APY. I'm assuming this is a high yield savings account. Might be. My friend recommends an account at our local credit union with their money market. They listed tier 1 under $24,999, a 1.98 dividend rate and 2% APY. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that. I would go into high yield, but if it's your emergency fund, it cannot be in a high yield savings account that you don't have immediate access to. Chase Sapphire credit card, that's a no for me, dog. This is Vegas_love3. I have had the Chase Sapphire credit card for almost a decade now. All right, did you name it? I'm going to pay it off all off in 2 months. Great, but it does have the $550 annual fee. Oh my goodness. $550. That's almost as stupid as Magical Elixir spending $400 on eating out every month. Not quite as stupid as that, but almost. $550 annual fee to have a freaking credit card. I've used up my $300 travel credit for this year. Well, that doesn't even pay off that. That doesn't even wipe that annual fee out. So you're still net negative here, sir. Dumb. Think with me having something like that Richie kind of stuff, you think you're doing something good, but you're not. You're being dumb. I've always been told that it's going to affect my credit. We don't care. It's the Ramsey subreddit. You should expect to come across people that don't care about your credit score, because you only need credit score to interact with debt, at least in America. If you're in Canada and want to buy a house, apparently you have to have a credit score. That's just what I've been told. I have not verified that with a legal source at all. So I'm just going on what I've been told by Canadians. I should ask CP, my friend. I think he verified it, but I will double check with him since I can't remember. Hashtag dementia. I've always been told that it is going to affect my credit score if I call the bank to officially cancel a credit card. Yeah, but why do you care? And that it's best to just not use. But then I'll be getting charged for $550K for not using it. Is this really too? What? Update, I just got off the phone this afternoon and have downgraded to Chase Freedom with no annual fee, but I have no intention probably on using it, and that's dumb to close the card. You're on baby step 2. If you're gonna call yourself on baby step 2, then that tells me you would like to follow the Ramsey advice. Otherwise, if you're going to keep a credit card, you're not following his advice. So you're not really on baby step 2. You're doing your own thing, which is fine since you make your own money and you have to live your life. So good luck to you. But no need to call yourself baby step 2 because you're not doing it. You're doing it wrong. Because you're putting that 550 on, you've been doing that. Yeah. Putting that 550 on the dumb credit card. To just have a credit card. That is crazy. Debt relief program. I've been contemplating on this, and now I feel I have no other real option. No savings. Everything is maxed out. My income is only now enough to cover my rent and bare essentials for my kids, and I don't qualify for any assistance. But we'll be going to food pantries this month. This will be my second month that I can't do minimum payments. Can't do a second job because of daycare, babysitting costs. Okay, so you're not paying them now? Okay. I tried applying for a consolidation loan doesn't do anything except puts it all together and makes you think you do something. Makes you think you've done something. You haven't done anything, except that's why Dave calls it a consolidation, because you just moved the money around. You haven't lessened the debt on that. And as I have a total of 4 credit cards and 2 personal loans, all totaling about $32,000. And, you know, that's your fault for getting credit cards and loans in the first place. Shouldn't have done that. If you can't afford to pay them off every month, shouldn't have done that at all, in fact. But even for somebody that thinks they're sophisticated and gonna somehow beat the system by making money on credit cards, you should be able to pay the things. No, you wanted something and didn't have enough money to pay for it and used debt to get it. And that's debt leverage, and that's dumb. So I don't know. I keep getting referred to J.G. Wentworth for this program. Some, I will say a lot probably, of debt relief programs are scams. And some of them, what they do is you start sending money to them and you don't pay on your debts. And the debt relief program people just do what you could do, which is not pay the debts and let it go into collection. Because guess what? They're not going to make it square with those 4 credit cards and 2 personal loans. They're going to let those go into collections and collect your money all that time and then wait for a while after they're in collections. The longer you wait, the better deal you can get on a settlement, and they'll work out a settlement, and then they'll tell you how much they want you to pay them in order to settle it, and they could be making money off you that whole time. You can do all of that yourself. You can let it go into collections yourself, and then you can settle it later yourself. So, but a lot of people do this is because this is like, oh, then I don't have to deal with it anymore. Quit being lazy. Deal with your own stupid crap that you made. Essentially, stop paying the creditors, right? Unfortunately, I was happening, and pay the program weekly, bi-weekly, yeah. I could possibly make the payment if I donate plasma. Yeah, so that's going to be the last choice. Anything. And bankruptcy as well, that's going to be your last choice. Also, magical elixir, I just noticed comeback is 1 word, not 2 words. Let's see, what time is it? Oh my goodness, almost done. We did over an hour. I was just going to do an hour. That's okay. I'll finish out the half hour. International Bed 5463 Total Money Makeover Book Reading Club. That would be a good one for any reading club, I would think. Hi everyone. Hi guys. I'm starting an online book club for financial literacy. Oh, so they'll all be money books. Okay. My idea is to collect 12 financial/habit building books to read every month over a year's time. That means 12 books in 1 year. Okay. I'm going to create a simple chat-based weekly meetup where we discuss the book / how it relates to our lives, what steps we take to make our personal lives better. Forgot the L there. The first book that I want to include in the series is the book Total Money Makeover book. That's a great one to start with. I read the book, okay, but I often come back to it again and again, probably because it's such a simple read, and it has basic rules, steps explained within it. So if you want to join the club, do DM me. All right, soliciting for that. That's fine. They have let me post some of my songs in here. Much appreciated to the mods of this subreddit. And baby step 5 right there. So yeah, I mean, that's anything having to do with the Ramsey advice where you get it to in front of other eyes is fabulous. And then, you know, once there, then they have to want help and ask for help and all that. Enough space, 2788, paid 1 debt off. I'm so thankful. 1 out of 20 debt is paid off. Okay. That's better than none out of 20 for sure. 1 baby step at a time. Yep. Actually, 1 debt at a time for you. So, but that's great. But hey, better to be on step 2 with 19 debts than on step 2 with 20 debts for sure. Careless Soil, 2416, sell our house. Let's see. You don't always have to sell the house. Go ahead and open it up since it has more. That's not bad. Let's see. Hello, fellow baby shepherds. Hi, guys. I need some advice. This may be long phrasing, so please bear with me. We bought our house a couple of years ago. We currently owe $280,000 on our home. We have 10 acres and love our home. Found ourselves working out a barter in exchange for free hay and have raised cows. The last couple of years, bartering is allowed and improved because we get the free hay. However, we're considering not raising them anymore because we feel tied down to the house. Okay, it's fine too. Which feels like we're not really making use of our land anymore. We could lease it out, but feels pointless. Don't be a landlord unless you want to be a landlord. It's not for everybody. The goal of moving here was to use our land for our family. Goals change. It's fine. Our house is solid and Amish built, but I find myself feeling like it's too small with younger kids. If it has a bedroom for each of them, it is not too small for younger kids. And also, younger kids can also sleep in the same room as well. 2 of them can definitely sleep. That's why they made bunk beds. You ever heard of bunk beds? My husband does lawn care plowing and is driving a ton. We've gone through 5 trailer tires this year. Our budget for gas is through the roof. And it's hard to grow a business in the city that you don't live in. Yep. You do got to make sure it's worth paying for those 5 trailer tires. You've got to make sure that's built into your costs that you're charging. When we first moved here, our goal was to eventually transition to doing work out here. Okay, but lo and behold, out in the boonies, everyone has their own equipment and it's not as common to hire out for it. Okay, that makes sense. I brought up the idea of selling and just moving back to the city. Our mortgage has gone up to $2,500. Why'd it go up? And it's made things a little tighter. Less money is available to go towards debt. Yeah, if you were on the Ramsey plan, you would not, and while you had debt, you wouldn't have bought a house. I guess I'm looking for some advice on what you would do. Our business is our only source of income. Did he say what the income is? So let's see, 280. Oh, what is that? Let me cheat in the calculator. That is what it's, what we say, 280 divided by 2.5. So you got to be making $112,000 a year to be able to afford that much mortgage, and it was probably more when they started. Or if you just want to go by the mortgage amount, that's $2,500. So that means they would have to have, let's see, what is that? 12.5. So probably about, Oh, that's yeah, times 2.5. They would have to make come on, 5,000 and so you got to be making close to 7,000, a little bit under 7,000 in order to per month to afford that, for that to be of your take home pay. That needs to be take home pay is 6,000, between 6 and 7,000. So let's see, I guess our business is our only source of income. Stepping away and doing something else is not an option. Well, if you got to keep doing that, and you do that, is on board with whatever I want to do. Okay. He's even started chatting with our realtor. I just don't want to rush in any decision without hearing any outside input. Sell, buy a cheaper house with no land. No, you don't buy another house until you pay off your debt. I mean, if you sell this house and you have enough equity in it, you would use it to pay off your debt. And then after that, you would save a full emergency fund and then save for a down payment on a cheaper house. And then, but it's not immediately get into another house loan is not the deal. But other benefits, stay where we are, make the land work for us, tough out the drive and gas. 10 acres and love our home. Okay, so where are they driving to? However, we're considering not raising minimum because we feel tied down to the house. I thought you said you love the house and stuff. So there's a lot of mixed things going on here. But again, they didn't say the amount of money they make. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. If there's a follow-up comment there we go. Forgot to add that to the post. We homeschool, but there are multiple co-ops and sports, and we do feel the strain of constant driving. Yeah, they don't have to do multiple co-ops and sports either. People go crazy with their kids for that. Oh, anything for the kids? Nope. Nope. So again, it would depend on their income, what the advice would be. You can tough it out if you make enough money for that to be okay. But if you have debt, you shouldn't have even bought the house to begin with. Love Donkey Butts. Does having a brokerage account count as an emergency fund? No, because that is not immediately accessible. You have to have immediate access to your emergency fund. So that's a no, dog. I guess I'm just wondering what I should be doing other than clamping down on my budget as much as possible. You do that. Oh, okay. That other issue as well. I have a little bit more money that is easily accessible, but I don't have anything else that's at my fingertips. You have to have it at your fingertips to be an emergency fund. So no brokerage. So get that in a high yield savings account that does have, you do have immediate access to it. If you can't find that, you have to settle for just a savings account. Because emergencies don't wait 1 to 3 days to happen. But I'm hesitant to touch it because I fear capital gains tax with withdrawal. Yeah, you're going to get that on the gains. Yep. You are. So maybe just take out what you would need for your emergency fund and keep the rest in it. But if you have debt, you wouldn't be doing that at all. You would cash it out to pay off the debt. I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Unfortunately, pay about $800 in child support and probably another $1,000 in childcare every month. If I didn't have these expenses, I would be in way better shape. Well, that's too bad. You do have those child-related expenses. Sorry. I guess I'm just wondering what I should be doing other than clamping down on the budget as much as possible. Yes, and you're debt free. That's great because you would be in worse choice than that as far as whether that $285K mortgage is too much. Like you went through the divorce, if you kept the house and that house was based on both of you making the mortgage payment, that might be too much house. So maybe you downgrade in house. And that could be very helpful, possibly. Alrighty, so once again, this is the new time slot for answering your financial questions. It's Saturdays and Sundays. Instead of in the afternoons, it's going to be at night. And if the Buckeyes or Commanders in the NCAA or the NFL have a night game, I will be doing it either in the afternoon or just canceling it altogether. Probably will do it in the afternoon. That's what I usually do. But yeah, Saturdays and Sundays, what time is it? 8:30 Eastern Time. Can't wait till I'm back in Ohio, OH. And they won handily today over a much lesser football school. So, and that's how it goes normally in the first 3 or 4 games. YouTube.com/CoachSteveMoney. Financial content is the stream answering your financial questions with Ramsey Solutions Certified Coach Steve Money. Hey, that's me. And of course, the Ramsey Show After Show, and through the month of September, that is going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:25 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5:25 p.m. that same time. That is when the Ramsey Show video goes off of YouTube and onto their network app. I will be doing a YouTube stream with some kind of content on it, either video games or something, or maybe I'll do every so often I'll do an extra after show, perhaps something like that. And the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in that, and so listen to those if you are so inclined, including the newest one, How to Do the Baby Steps Right, and which Magical Elixir is not doing correctly. Because not budgeting correctly. Or if is budgeting, not sticking to it. Because hopefully the budget for eating out is not $400. Because that would be a no, dog. Alrighty. Okay, so once again, Ramsey Solutions Certified, Coach Steve Money. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you are on the right track, you can schedule a free, yes, completely free financial coach consultation with me. And I'll give you my opinion on that. Calendly.com/CoachSteveMoney is where you do that. I do need to change my availability on there. We'll have to remember to do that. You can email me about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel, Coach Steve Money, YouTube at gmail.com, excuse me. Donations can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money or Cash App to $ Coach Steve Money. Or you can do a Walmart gift card to CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. As I said, the upcoming streams, answering your financial questions, and that is Saturdays and Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And the Ramsey Show After Show, and that is 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the Ramsey Show Chat Refugee Stream, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. That is also at that time, 5:25 Eastern Time, when the Ramsey Show goes to the app off of YouTube. Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And thank you so much if you've already done those things. And make smart financial decisions every day.